Amen.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Jonesboro Rotary. It is good to be back. And last week or so, I've really been kind of busy. I haven't really gotten a lot in the Rotary business, but I'm back into it and ready to go. And with that said, since I didn't ask anybody to do the invocation today, I think I'll do it. Let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. We thank you for this club and the efforts that that we do throughout the community. It will continue to do for people down the eastern part of the state where they are still suffering from the rising flood waters. Bless this food they are using us by service. In Christ's name we pray, amen. Amen. Give me just a second. October is still membership month. October 27th, we'll be out at Trace, and we will have a kind of like a recruitment dinner. So on the 27th, if you think about it, bring a guest or a Rotary alumni who may want to touch base or get back into it, and just a great place to be and a great club to be in. A couple other things for Rotary. On the 28th, we got the RLI Institute down in Pinehurst. We got a couple going to that. We've got a brochure here on it if you're interested on it. It's a pretty good learning opportunity, and it's great for Rotary retention. So, I got an email from the district about Hurricane Matthew. They've got a matching fund of $5,000 that they are going to send. We'll either pass the buck around or send a check down and see what's up with that. Our barbecue is still November the 8th. I will sort the tickets and get those out probably next week. That'll give us about 3 weeks to really get out, hit the pavement, sell them, and I think that for that amount of time we should be able to do it. Looking forward to a bigger time this year. We're having it over at the Civic Center. Michael Basinger is jacked up about cooking chickens. He's already got the grill ready to go. We got the chicken. All we got left to do now is sell some tickets and prepare the food and get it out to them. So, looking forward to doing that. I can't think of anything else that I've got here. Man, are you eating?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, we have a couple of guests today. Charles, you have a very, very special guest of yours today. Would you like to introduce your guest to the club, please?
And I have to meet my much better half, my wife, Martha.
Thank you for coming, Martha. We have a very, very special guest from the Sanford Club, Assistant District Governor, Tommy Roth. And I don't see any other guests here today. Tommy, you have an announcement.
Yes, I do, Dan. Thank you. It's getting crunch time. I need some help. In less than 2 weeks, we're kicking off the informational meeting in the Pittsburgh area for a club. So if you know anybody personally that you would like to see as a Rotarian in Pittsburgh, please see me and give me their email address. I can send them an invitation, or you can call them and invite them. It's October 25th, 5:30 at the Roadhouse in Pittsburgh. So please, we would like to get this off the ground. This is a great area to have a new club, and so we need some help getting some people. So it's me, okay?
Can you remember the meeting we can hold at it?
I don't know. It'll be up to the club. They decide that. We're just getting together to see who's interested in joining. So this is an informational meeting. So we hope we can get about 40 people there. We got 20 to charter it, to have the club chartered. So I think we can get it. With that area booming like it is, with the industry going there, it'll be a great area for a club. So need your help. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tommy. Do we have any other announcements today? Anybody got anything they want to bring before the club? John? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Van. We did not meet at Edwards Elementary this past Tuesday for probably obvious reasons. Lee County Schools was closed Monday and Tuesday, and they had a 1-hour delay yesterday. We are going to meet again for Character Plus. We're going to do the Word is Responsibility, and our own Janice Davis will be presenting the program. It's going to be this Tuesday, Edwards Elementary on Cemetery Road in Jonesboro at 8 a.m. So if you can, please show up. I know myself, Larry, and David, and a lot of us brag about how fantastic the program is. We're probably going to need about 1 hour of your time on a Tuesday morning. So if you can, come on out to Edwards Elementary, and it should be a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Chris? Yes, sir.
Good to see everybody. Just want to make announcements. Christmas is coming, Christmas in October, but we are registering local families for Christmas assistance next Thursday at First Presbyterian Church. I anticipate about 300 families coming through that day and could use some help registering. If you're good on computers, doing data entry, love to speak to you about that. And we've got a lot of opportunities, and I just want to put that out. Love to speak to you about it.
Thank you, Chris. Okay,
I guess, Ben,
yes, Richard.
since I've kind of lost the connection, I think we do want to keep in mind that No Scare Fair is coming up at the end of this month. Haven is doing it. We have always supported them with a door, and also the Breakfast Club had also done all the parking and everything, and so I think they're going to want any help we can give them, but that'll be through Susan King and Haven.
Okay, Richard, thank you for reminding us of that very important No Scare Fair thing for the kids. Matt, did you have something? No? Any other announcements? How about, let's give a big round of applause to Yvonne for that wonderful decision. It looked really good. Ain't much left, so I gotta get eating on my food before I get back there. Thank you, Yvonne, for bringing this back. Does anybody have any brags today? Yes, sir. Mr. Gillen.
I went on vacation out west. A couple of years ago, I went to New England, and when I went, I wore my Rotary hat that said Jonesboro Club, Sanford, North Carolina. I figured folks are going to be speaking to me everywhere. Nobody said a word to me. But I went out west to Colorado and Utah, and had several good experiences. Somebody on the plane, the Greek Scout shook my hand and said he was a Rotarian in California. I wore it into a National Park Visitor Center at Rocky Mountain National Park, and the ranger behind the desk had lived in Richmond and worked for Allied Chemicals, so he knew right where Sanford was, and so that was neat. And our server at a restaurant was a resident of Serbia working in the U.S. during the summer. And she saw my hat. She said, "My dad is a Rotarian." Brought a tear to her eye because she'd been away from him all summer, and has a hat just like that. So I do just encourage you to wear your Rotary hat when you go on vacation, and it'll honestly, folks will speak to you. It's great.
Very good. Hey,
Your dad had a Jonesboro Rotary hat?
Yeah.
Sharing that story with us. Appreciate that. Terry, yes, sir.
I'm gonna hold you about but fine. Last week I came in, I got in, set up the camera, and Doug, or one of my brothers here, videoed it, but I really had a good time editing the video, because when I came in, I videoed the skull. Not the coverage, not just skull, but it was another
If it
skull.
wasn't mine, it's okay.
But if you get the opportunity, please go look at it. I know it's not Halloween yet, but I kind of
Done a number.
Anyway, I kind of dressed the video up, put the ring behind it, with the skull. And then as she was talking, had a little skull all around on the video, so go really look at it.
Very good. Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it.
For all the baseball,
I know.
Oh, no.
Only yes.
for all the baseball fans in the room, I'm bragging on my Cubbies for clinching that series, and so we're going to hopefully win the National League now at this point. 8 more wins and we can win it all, but definitely deserves back.
Very good, very good. Anybody else? Robert?
Okay, so I just want to brag on Lee County football, okay? The high school football teams. Most of us interested in college and pros, but I went to the best high school football game I've ever been to, which was last Thursday night. It was down in Fayetteville at Terry Sanford. And what happened was we kicked the ball off. For those of you who are interested, we kicked the ball off to Terry Sanford. They fumbled it. I don't know if anybody else went, but they fumbled it. We recovered it, and a couple plays later we scored. The second series of downs, we kicked the ball off. They got it. After a couple plays, they threw an interception. We ran it into the end zone. The third series, we kicked off to them. They threw another interception and ran it into the end zone. In the fourth series, we held them on defense. They punted. We blocked the punt and ran that into the end. So after 7 minutes, we were up 28-0. And they eventually won. We eventually won 41-28 against a team that led the league last 2 years, and we haven't beaten in 3 years. So, but both Lee Senior and Southern Lee are undefeated in the league this year, and they're going to eventually play the last game of the season. Lee Senior's next game has been postponed to Tuesday because they're playing a Fayetteville team because of the rain. But I thought you all ought to know that.
Yeah, and also the Internet has them rated number 11 in the metro area.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna brag because holy smokes! Last Saturday I was scared, boy. I was at the house and trees were falling down all around me, and I'd been praying that day, and I'd been up in my workshop, and somebody or something told me leave my workshop to check on my dog. So I came from the workshop down to my house, and I'm on my front porch, and 2 trees come down. Two more come down. I'm thinking, oh no. And this is only like 1:30 in the afternoon, and then one fell on my building. But my 1973 Starcraft pop-up camper kind of created a wedge for the tree so it couldn't go pierce the roof of my building, and I feel very, very blessed to not have anything other than that done. I mean, I got some trees down, I got that pretty much cleared up. The adjuster's coming this morning to take care of it, but oh my gosh, man, it was crazy. And I'm thinking, and we don't know when this is going to end. This could go on for 4 or 5 more hours. I got a lot of big trees around me. My neighbors, oh man, we got some trees down. So I feel blessed about that. And you know what? 1:30 in the morning, Saturday night, if you're up looking at the stars, it was absolutely gorgeous, and the weather has been absolutely gorgeous since then. So I feel blessed. And yeah, Rupert can attest to this too. We got our power back on at 8 o'clock last night. Boy, wasn't that great, huh? Yeah, walking around with flashlights and candles and stuff for a couple of days, yeah. All right, anything else come for the club? Back to you, David.
Thank you, Van. So with the power being out, you couldn't determine whether 1:30 was AM or PM, right?
Well, the coolness of my gear. That's what I think.
From the last time I saw 1:30 AM, so thank you. Today we have got an interesting situation. We have our member moment and our program all in the same.
There we go.
So, with another fabulous introduction like I gave Mr. Crumpton, Mr. Van is going to get up and speak again.
I don't know whether to stand or bow. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I don't know what I'd do without it. I always keep my expectations down whenever I'm doing things like this. Larry sent these things out last year, and I took a leave of absence, so I didn't get an opportunity to do my member moments. And he's not here. I'm not getting M&Ms. I'm upset. But I'll go through the obligatory questions and answer them as best I can. It said, why Rotary? I didn't have much of a choice with having Michelle Bullard as my neighbor. She kept telling me about these people, some lady named Yvonne and David Spivey and gosh, who else was it she used to tell me about? And I just said, well, I just have to go. and see what it's about. And she brought me in to do a couple programs, and that certainly did help me make my decision up. Also, my dad was a Rotarian for about 30 years, so one of my fondest memories as a young boy was going with him to Rotary meetings. Of course, back in the day, those were all at night. So going with him out at night was always a cherished memory for me. I was born in Bladen County, in Elizabethtown. John Crumpton, quite aware of it, went to Melvin's when it was probably still owned by Pat Melvin. Go to the front porch and have a good buffet, eat all that nice fried foods and everything. I graduated in the second class at East Bladen High School. Went to UNC Wilmington, or as my friend would say, UNC where. From there, I went to graduate school at Frostburg State University, which at that time was Frostburg State College, which is part of the University of Maryland system. That's where I met my wife, Faye. She's from Cumberland, Maryland. We have 3 grown children. I have 1 grandchild that's about 9 months old. And we're doing our best to make sure we spoil her very well and send her back to her parents. I'll talk about Cody. I've been at Cody for 28 years. Before that, I worked as a consultant here in Sanford. That's what brought me here originally. Before that, I was working in Elizabethtown. I was worked for the utilities department, so I got a chance to give back a little bit to the community because they sure as heck didn't pay me enough. One thing you don't know about me probably is that I do sing, and I'll just leave it at that. My hero, we always think about our dads, and my dad certainly was my hero, but the one that I think about the most was my brother. My brother and sister were much older when I was born. My brother was 17 when I was born. My sister was she turned 13 a few days after I was born. So my brother was almost like a father figure. I had a hard time in school even following my sister because she's like salutatorian or something in the class. You're not like your sister. I said, thank God. But my brother was, he set a template of tomfoolery around town, if you will. He was the original Huck Finn type thing. He spent a lot of time, and he was around her. And then after he went to college, and my dad came in one day and he said, well, I know what your brother majored in this semester. And I said, what was that? He said, fun. He kept wondering why I'd get these checks for $50 at the laundromat. So he said, how does that boy mess up that many clothes? But through it all, my dad was one of those people that back in the day, you paid a penance for things like that when you didn't do well in something. So he had to come and work for him. And when he came home, he made up his mind that was it. He was going to have to make it on his own. So he went into the Marine Corps. He went back to college. And I asked him, I said, well, where did you do your basic training? He says, oh, I had fun at summer camp at Quantico. And if any of you in the military know, that was probably not as much fun as Paris Island would have been, but whatever. So anyway, he went through that. And we visited him. He served in Vietnam. He was always spent time with me every time he had a chance, even though now he's got his own kids. I have a nephew who's only 9 years younger than I am. So anyway, I was like kind of the family and stuff. And he did some things, and like anybody else would do. But later on in life, he got cancer, and it was colon cancer. And he found it when he was having a routine colonoscopy. I'm sorry to tell him this at lunch, but he found the problem and he took care of it and he got through and everything was fine. About 2 years later, he was playing golf with some of his buddies and he noticed he's having some pain in his legs, and he went to his friend who's the chiropractor, said, let me take a look and see what we can do. Maybe you got a little sciatica or something. He took a picture and he found this big tumor on the end of his spine. And he gave it the good college try. He went to MD Anderson. He knew about cancer treatments. He went through all of that. He took all the drugs and everything, and he fought like a champ. But he eventually got it. But he always told me, he said, I was a Marine and you think about Marines, you know, in a certain way, and he was probably an atypical Marine, but he was one of those guys. He told me, he said, I never met an atheist in a foxhole. And he said, and I love the Lord, and he said, I didn't love him like I should have, but he understood what life was all about when he was older and realized how frail and fragile life was. And if he didn't teach me anything else, he taught me that. So I think that was one of the good things about that. Wow moment, and we'll get off of that. My wife was pregnant with our second child. We go to Dr. Butler, who was the OBGYN at that time. We go in there and he says, well, you know, we would like to do an amniocentesis to check to make sure everything's okay with the baby, because, you know, you're a little older and we kind of, you know, you don't have to do it, but we recommend it. So we said, sure, why not? We'll go ahead and do it. So he's over there and he's got my wife up there and he's doing the ultrasound. He goes, I see two heads. And I go, on the same body? Any of you ever knew Larry Butler, he was not one to be overly excited about something, but I thought he was going to roll around on the floor. Bob, you were there when they were born, but that was my wow moment. It's like, oh no, we're having two children. We're not having one, we're having two. Okay, so that's my stuff, and I'm sticking to it. We'll talk a little bit about Cody. Click a slide, my good friend. There we go. We're going to talk a little bit about some history. Goes back a few years. I'm not real good in French, but if I was from Mamers, I'd probably play Francois. But it's Francois. Francois Cody was a very debonair guy for his time. This is in France back in around the turn of the century, or before the turn of the century. This is the, I'm sorry.
Nope.
See,
I thought that was an iZone.
this is the new Cody logo. Anybody, if you get an email, they give us a little tutorial about how to get this up on our email. So they have these nice purple butterflies. So that's on you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Who was Francois? He was born in Corsica in 1874. He became known as the Emperor of Perfume. He was a cousin to Napoleon. But he was a little taller than he was. He changed his name in order to establish himself and his products as the worldly when marketing his first fragrance, which was cologne Cody. He was one of those rare folks, and we have them in our business, that can detect odors that are good or bad to be able to make good perfumes or colognes. His first real success was La Rose Jacques Minot in 1904. That's kind of the bellwether date for Cody as a company. He sold at the Louvre. His wife Yvonne sewed the velvet bags and things that they put the cologne in, which mattered a little, and today we call that value added. He partnered with a glass company to put some design and stuff on his bottles, and they were very much top shelf type things that back in around the turn of the century. And they offered little gift sets, as you can see here, to have like more than one, maybe a cologne and some other splash and maybe some other bath and body stuff. He was France's first billionaire, and by 1928 was one of the 5 richest people in the world. Well, Yvonne and Francois didn't get along, so they got it on. And she married another dude.
He wasn't number 5 in the world.
No, he was not number 5 with a bullet.
She was.
He remarried. The mother of his 5 illegitimate children. She quickly had an affair with Cody's best friend. Keeping it in the family. By 1933, Yvonne and Leon had taken most of Cody's fortune. And back in that day, the leniency in the courts were caused by Cody's many controversies, his illegitimate children, tax evasion, and attempted bribery. Income tax was 2%. We'd probably all love for some of that. In 1934, he contracted pneumonia and he died of an apparent brain aneurysm. He didn't even have enough to pay the hired help for the month. So what happened next? If France in World War I, some of the areas where he lived was not greatly affected. It was affected, but not as it was in World War II. So they high-IQ'd when World War II started and got out of that and moved to New York City. And the new husband ended up with control of the company. And he sold it to Pfizer in 1965 for $30 million. And against her and her heirs' wishes. Part of the stipulation was a no Cody family member would work for Pfizer. Pfizer later declined to sell Cody business back to the family. Anybody knows you don't kill the goose with the golden egg, right? They negotiated a lot or whatever. The original Cody division of Pfizer factory was on 55th Street in Manhattan. And in late 1968, Pfizer began to search for a place because they couldn't expand. If you know anything about New York City, you got walls on either side of your building, that's pretty much it. You're not going very much. So they started looking. They came to North Carolina. They looked at property in various counties. They actually looked at property where the NC Zoo is today in Randolph County. But they came to Lee County, and I think Hal Sauer and some of the guys back there in the late 60s, early 70s grabbed a hold of them, wouldn't let them go. And they found a parcel of property out there at that time was 421 that was available. And once they bought the first parcel, the landowners in the next adjoining properties found out how much Pfizer was paying for property, so they ponied up. So at the end of the day, you ended up with about 250 acres out there instead of about 40 that they were looking at originally. The initial plant was built in 1971, was 32,000 square feet, and it was built under the ownership of Pfizer. Whoa, so what have we done since then? So in 1974, we added another 125,000 square feet of distribution, shipping, and warehouse. In 1988, Cody held the #1 position in U.S. mass fragrance sector, $100 million in sales. And that was the year I started working for Cody. So that was definitely a red letter. In 1991, we added another 460,000 square feet for the distribution center. In 92, we were purchased by Ben Keyser Consumer Products. And as I tell people, Pfizer sold to Ben Keyser so they can get enough money to develop Viagra. There you go. So then, shortly after that, began the process of buying different companies. In 1996, Cody acquired Unilever's cosmetic line Rimmel, which that included a plant in England as well as some other facilities. In 1999, Cody Beauty and Lancaster groups were formed. Lancaster was more of a European brand. Obviously, Cody had been more of a U.S. brand, so that gave us a little bit more foothold in Europe. In 2002, Cody launched the first celebrity fragrance, Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, which is considered one of the world's biggest fragrance launches. We couldn't make it fast enough to get it out. The unfortunate part about J-Lo when it first came out was made in France. So we were just basically bringing it into our plant and shipping it to all the outlets that Cody normally sells to. In 2004, we celebrated our 100-year anniversary. In 2005, Cody acquired the fragrance division of Unilever, another part of Unilever, which was forming Cody Prestige, which brought in the Calvin Klein, Vera Wang. Those are very big names in the fragrance business, and also both are in all kinds of other clothing and other lines of stuff. I see Vera Wang on TV all the time now. CK is responsible by about $1 billion right now. And in 2007, Cody acquired Dell Labs, which was increasing the color cosmetic portfolio to now include Sally Hansen in New York City Cosmetics. We moved those operations from Rocky Point to Sanford in 2011. Dell Labs had already closed their operations on Long Island and it moved to Rocky Point. We bought the rest of that and moved it to Sanford. In 2010, Cody acquired the following companies: Dr. Scheller Cosmetics, a Russian cosmetics company; Philosophy, adding the prestige skincare category; OPI, which adds it to the color portfolio. And I'll go a little bit more into that in a second. In 2013, Cody began trading as a public entity on the New York Stock Exchange. And in 2014, Cody announced the transition of Philosophy from Phoenix to Sanford, and the purchase of Bourgeois, a Parisian color cosmetics company, mainly for European markets. And in 2015, Cody announced the transition of OPI from North Hollywood, California to Sanford. So you can see we've been growing leaps and bounds inside those walls. When you ride by, you can't really tell that. That's what's going on. This is a basic aerial photo. This building right here is the original 1971 building. This is the 74 building, and you can see the distribution center added double the size of the plant in 1991. The entire site is 230 acres. It's a little over 900,000 square feet, 21 acres pretty much under roof. We're the only Cody facility with the distribution and manufacturing basically in the same building. Most of the others have a manufacturing, and then the distribution could be miles away, or actually in some of them are in other countries. We have about 860 full-time employees with about 400 to 600 temporaries. Manufacturing, filling, and nail polish, fragrance, bath and body, and distribution. In peak production period, which we're just outside of now, is June through September. About 250 million units inside and another 16 million external, with about 27 million peak during those summer months. OPI. Ladies go to the salons. This is pretty much the nail color of preference there. It was founded in 1981. We bought it in 2010. Originally was a small dental supply company that branched into acrylic nail formulas named Odontorium Products Incorporated. That's where OPI comes from. They closed down the dental side and expanded into nail lacquer in 1989. OPM began to branch out in the celebrity business as well, which is a good thing. They start bringing those people in, and you start getting a lot more interest in there. Justin Bieber, everybody knows the Bieber, right? Katy Perry, we know her too. Kate's done fragrances with Cody, as a matter of fact. Serena Williams, the Kardashians, old Floyd, right? Carrie Underwood, Mariah Carey, the Muppets.
There you go.
And Modern Family also partner up with OPI. And like I said, transition should be complete by the end of this year, bringing those new products in here. Philosophy's one of those kind of a homegrown type thing again. This lady, Christina Carlino, had been working in the beauty business and decided that she wanted to go out on her own and start her own brands and things, where hope and grace and those types of terms and stuff are used in there. The products are very good. They're very good sellers. If any of you ever are bored and flipping through the channels, they sell a lot of this stuff on QVC. That's one of the biggest outlets. It's also a little bit of a bane, if you will, because when they run those ads and they run that out, usually 30 minutes to an hour-long program, we get swamped with orders that we got to get out within a few days. So we get real busy when they run those things, but we're pretty busy anyway. This is just like I said, it was one of those things that happens, and Cody bought this company, and unfortunately for Phoenix, Arizona, unfortunately for Sanford, that business is now here and integrated. This was the original labels, if you will, of the original Cody perfume. Of course, you've seen some of these people. Sure, some of them, and the guys will certainly start recognizing. If not, we'll just be looking at them. Of course, there's David Beckham, for those of you that are female. He's a very popular individual too. So these things have done quite well for us over the years.
No David Van?
Oh. We'll get to him in a minute. Big news. As of October 1st, it's a merger, if you want to call it a merger or an acquisition between Cody and P&G. P&G is a very widely known consumer products company. that adds to our portfolio things like Wella, Clear All, CoverGirl, Max Factor, Hugo Boss, and Gucci, which means we get more fragrances, we get more hair color and stuff, which is something Cody has not had much to do with. This is certainly a way to put your foot right in the front door, is to go ahead and buy a company or be a part of a company that already has these brands and they're well established, which is a good thing for us. These are ours and these are P&G. It was effective on October 1st. Like I said, the P&G unit's called Galleria. You may see some of that if you ever read into some of the trade magazines and stuff. We went from $3 billion in revenues to over $9 billion. That's kind of like overnight. You grew up. From being a teenager to being 30. Cody Sanford will have a presence. There's 3 groups, 3 categories: luxury, consumer, and professional. We'll have a foothold in each one of those divisions are being made here in Sanford. The high-end colognes, the consumer, which is the nail polish, and then professional, which is the OPI. So we have both of those sections in there. And at the end of the day, we're number 1 in fragrance, number 2 in color cosmetics, number 3 in hair color. You get to be number 3 in hair color when you buy the company that's number 3 in hair color. There's a handsome baby. There he is. Captain Ricky Kellum, if you ever want to go fishing, he's the dude to carry. But anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yes, sir, Doug.
David, where's your corporate headquarters?
Geneva.
Geneva?
So there's a corporate headquarters in Geneva. There are individual, some of these groups, luxury and all of them have their own, but where the CEO sits is in Geneva.
How much of the company's production is done in Sanford? What percent? Half?
Yeah, probably easily. We are the largest, obviously, we are the largest from size and production of all the other
Are they going to
plants.
expand that anymore?
We have plenty of room to expand. There's always been that battle between, do we make the investment or do we just lease buildings? So I haven't heard of anything that says that we're going to be building any more buildings out there right at this point. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 2 things. First of all, I can't believe Yvonne would leave Francois penniless. Dying in the hospital. And second of all, is there any other part of Unilever that you can pick? I mean, y'all bought everything from them, right?
The only thing we don't have now is the Dove brands is one of their biggest selling brands. They still have a plant in Rayford that's still producing, and I don't know what they're doing there now. But you're amazed that Unilever is the #1 consumer products company in the world.
I did not know that.
We do the P&G.
Next time you buy a Klondike bar, it's a Unilever. That's right.
Knowing that you sell perfumes in, vials smaller than that, and I'm sure at the plant you all make it in hundreds of gallons, thousands of gallons, vats. What might be, besides water, what is the raw material that goes into it? What makes the scent? You're not taking
alcohol.
Was it alcohol? You're not taking 3 tons of rose petals and grinding them up, I guess. I'm showing my ignorance, but I'm just
It's
curious.
alcohol. When you think about it, what happens with alcohol when you open it, you smell it right away. That means it volatilizes. And it's warm, your skin is warm, you put alcohol on there with the fragrance in it, and that's why when you walk by, you can smell it.
Really?
So we go through over 1 million gallons of alcohol a year. So there's a lot of transportation coming in and out of Cody bringing highly flammable liquids.
Yeah.
Don't you place it on the dumpster.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
What you all bought from P&G was the beauty
The
division.
beauty division, correct.
So, P&G has some pretty large operations. Where are they in the U.S.?
The largest operation in the U.S. and their operations more heavily in Europe than there is in the U.S. There's Hunt Valley, Maryland, which is in north of Baltimore. And if you're familiar with that upper area, like you're going up towards Jordan, PA. They have a distribution, they have like 3 or 4 buildings in that general area. Then there's a distribution center out in California. There's a manufacturing plant in, I want to say, Monterrey, Mexico. So there's a Mexican plant, and that plant in Hunt Valley and Sanford are in our, what they call our cluster. I haven't been to Hunt Valley yet. Nobody from Unilever's been here yet. We've only been one since October 1st, so we don't have a chance to do that. But that's where they're larger operations in Europe.
David, are there any plans to open up a little retail outlet that you guys used to have?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. The reason why I say that, I know that they have made some inroads into opening company stores now. There are some of them that are in some of the major metropolitan cities. The reason why I know that is our risk management director and we communicate a lot. He's been there when they had the grand openings and stuff. But as far as that building that we have out there on our campus is going to be repurposed for something else.
It was kind of nifty because anytime I'd have somebody come in from out of town, it was, oh, let me take you over to the Cody store, and great value.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it helps me from the environmental side to get rid of stuff that I don't want to throw away. There you go.
Jeffrey.
All right, we don't have a jug today, so would I?
Oh, I did have it. It's over there.
You do?
Yeah, it's
I have the flag. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I didn't mix them up the whole
Bad.
time, so they are well. One of those out. All right, the winner today is 4501.
Tell me if I got it.
4501.
Thank you. I didn't bring my glasses. I can't tell.
$37.
That's right. There you go. There's your badge.
Dave, thank you so much for that program. Perfect. Good job. Thank you so much for being here today. Sure, bring her anytime you like. We appreciate her being here. Tommy, thanks. Anything else you need to say before we adjourn?
No, sir.
Got everything under control?
Just need some help from Pittsburgh.
All right. Anything else for good Rotary? If not, Richard will leave some four-way tests.
Four-way tests are the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.